In the wide, quiet canyons of northern Nevada, a lonely rancher named Eli Carter rode his horse along the dusty ridge trail. He was 55, weathered by sun, shaped by silence, and still healing from the loss of his wife, Anna, 3 years ago. That morning, nothing felt unusual, just another routine ride, checking fences, counting cattle, breathing in the dry sagebrush air. His horse, Scout, suddenly stopped, ears sharp, muscles tense. "What is it, boy?" Eli murmured. Then he saw it. A tiny foal, thin, dusty brown, ribs showing, still behind a rock, watching him. Not running, not hiding, just waiting. Wild foals that young are never alone. Never. Eli's chest tightened. "Where's your mama, little one?" he whispered. The foal took a shaky step forward, then another. Its eyes weren't just hungry. They were desperate, hopeful, like it knew Eli was its only chance. Against every rule he'd ever learned about wild animals, Eli dismounted slowly. He sat in the dirt and waited, and waited. For 2 long hours the foal watched him. Finally, it crept close enough to smell the apple slices in Eli's palm. Too weak to stand, it collapsed onto a tarp Eli gently spread out. Back at the ranch, his foreman, Mateo, nearly dropped his coffee. "You brought home a wild foal?" "He was dying out there," Eli said quietly. "I couldn't just leave him." They cleaned the shed behind the barn, laid down soft straw, bought milk replacer from town, no questions asked. That night, Eli sat beside the foal, feeding him every few hours just like Anna would have done. She always said, sometimes we're the only chance they get. They named him River. Days passed. River grew stronger. His coat gleamed. His eyes sparkled. He'd nuzzle Eli's shoulder, follow him around like a shadow. But secrets don't stay hidden long. Rumors spread. The sheriff came by. Then the Bureau of Land Management. "You know you can't keep a wild horse, Eli," the sheriff said gently. "It's protected land law." "I know," Eli replied. "But what was I supposed to do? Let him starve?" The answer hung heavy in the air. A sanctuary in Colorado offered to take River. Eli agreed, though his heart ached like an old wound reopening. The day before transport, something impossible happened. At the north fence line stood a beautiful bay mare, wild, worn, her coat scarred from travel, but her eyes fierce with purpose. And then River began to whinny. Not just any sound, a cry only a mother would recognize. The mare answered, loud, urgent, full of longing. Eli's breath caught. That's his mother. She'd tracked him across miles of desert, through storms and silence, guided only by love. Dr. Lena Hayes, the sanctuary evaluator, arrived just in time to witness it. This is unheard of," she whispered, tears in her eyes. "A wild mare finding her foal after all this time?" They opened the gate. River stepped out, trembling, then ran. The reunion was wordless, but louder than thunder. Nuzzling, grooming, soft knickers that sounded like forgiveness, like home. The BLM agent, Ms. Green, stood stunned. "I've never seen anything like this." Dr. Hayes spoke fast. "Let's not take them away. Let's study them, fit them with trackers. This could change how we protect wild horses forever." After hours of calls, the deal was struck. River and his mother would be released, free to roam, but monitored as part of a research project. And Eli, he wouldn't be punished, as long as he promised to call authorities next time. As sunset painted the hills gold, Eli stood at the fence one last time. River trotted over, pressed his forehead to Eli's chest, just for a moment. Then he turned and followed his mother into the wild. Eli watched until they vanished over the ridge, until the wind carried only the sound of hooves fading into freedom. Mateo handed him a warm mug. "Anna would have been proud of you." Eli nodded, throat too tight to speak. 6 months later, updates came regularly. River, now strong and swift, ran with a wild herd in the high desert. Healthy, free, exactly where he belonged. Sometimes on his rides, Eli stops at the spot where it all began, pulls out his worn journal. Writes about birds, weather, and the quiet miracles that find us when we're ready to care. And sometimes, if the wind is just right, he hears it. A distant call, wild, clear, and full of life. Not goodbye, but thank you. Moral of the story. True kindness isn't about holding on, it's about knowing when to let go. Sometimes the greatest love is giving someone back their freedom, even when it breaks your heart.